professor Roberto Ferreira. Estou aqui para colocar para vocês vídeo 20, Precious Plastic 1. Eu vou apresentar para vocês em vários vídeos agora um trabalho muito interessante a nível mundial da Precious Plastic. Esse material está disponível, é software livre, tem projetos de equipamentos, então vocês vão poder, através desses vídeos aí, eu legendei muitos, e depois com o tempo eu parei de seguir porque eu não tive mais tempo livre para seguir o site, mas vocês podem entrar lá no site, tem sempre material para baixar. Acho super interessante do ponto de vista ambiental e do ponto de vista de proporcionar um trabalho para pessoas que queiram fazer alguma coisa em associação, em casa e tal. É alguma forma de ganhar um dinheirinho, tá? Então vamos lá, os vídeos.
When I heard that less than 10% of our plastic is recycled, I was confused. Call me stupid, but I always thought this logo means it's recycled. Truth is, this only means it can be recycled. I wanted to know why so little is reused, so I went to figure it out. So, turns out the cycle of plastic is pretty complex. But this is basically the problem. There are different types of plastic. Products might look the same, but the type can be different. There are ways to tell this.
Greipbaar?
But trust me, it's not great. So, the few people that sort our waste obviously make mistakes. This means their plastic is not 100% accurate. The guys that design the plastic machines want them to be as efficient as possible. So the machines are very fast, but also complex and pretty expensive. The factories that use these efficient machines to produce huge amounts of products don't want to use recycled plastic. It might damage their machine or slow down production. It's just too much risk. My goal was to set up a small workshop which runs on local plastic waste. I asked people to bring me their old and used plastics. And bought an old shredder to chop it into small pieces. To turn this into products, I needed my own machines. So, I designed a set of machines that are less complex, easy to use and produce small series. And start to make them. So right now I'm making the movie for my plastic shredding. I already went there before, but the company was kind of so I went to another company and made this, the new movie. So today I'm gonna visit a company who makes fresh packaging, so stuff like this. It's done with thermoforming. I just have to get my stuff and ready to go. Today I'm going to visit a plastic recycling company, and right now I'm waiting for my bus. So it's still pretty early, and today we're going to visit plastic blow molding. So today I'm going to visit plastic injection molding. Welcome to a new Precious Plastic video. First off, happy to see you're interested in recycling plastic. I mean, that's our goal, to have people like you start recycling. So this is version 2 of the machines. We actually made a version before, but it was more a proof of concept. It worked, but it was still quite difficult to get started and build the machines. So we put a lot of effort in improving that, a lot of prototypes, experiment, tryouts. And everything we learned, we packed the most crucial things inside these videos. And of all of them, this instruction video is probably the most practical and boring one. And the other ones get more interesting. So in these videos we will cover a few topics. First we're going to learn a little bit about plastic. What's the material, the behavior, different types. Don't worry if you don't know anything about plastic. We made the videos very simple and easy to follow, so it shouldn't be a problem. And then we're going to build the machines. We're going to guide you step by step in how to make it. This is the machine we're going to build. What kind of tools and materials you need. And then we're going to collect our material. So what's the best way to collect plastic? Some tips and tricks, some things you can download to make it easier. Then we're going to create things. So we have the plastic, we have the machines, and we're gonna start melting, playing and making stuff. Finally, you can share the things you made on our website, a machine hack or something inspirational from plastic. We will do this as well, so we have one-page stuff with inspiring things to see. Working with plastic like this is still in its early stage. I mean, we have the big industry that works with plastic, and then, well, no one really. It's almost creating a new kind of craft. There's still a lot to learn, find out, figure out. So we're very open for your feedback. Use our forums to share your feedback or suggestions, or meet other people that are interested in recycling plastic as well. So we've been working on this project for over 2 years, and we share everything what we do open source online for free. So we welcome a donation. However, we would love it even more if you would just start recycling plastic. Send us a picture, what you made, and that would make us very happy. And finally, please share this around. Maybe it's not you that's gonna start recycling plastic, but it could be your friends, family, neighbors. I mean, we have all the basic information you need to get started. We just need to make sure that people actually know it exists. So that's it for this video. I hope to see you again in the next one. We're gonna learn about plastic. This bottle is made from plastic. Actually, a lot of things we have are made from plastic. It's used everywhere, but it also ends up everywhere, damaging our planet. Which is weird. It's a precious material laying around everywhere, for free. We could also turn this waste into something new. Unfortunately, we haven't got the machines to do this ourselves. They're only for the big boys. So we develop machines that enable everyone to work with plastic and start their own little factory. Waste is shredded in small flakes, which will be used to create something new. You can work freely with your hands, or make your own molds to set up a small production. It's like being a craftsman in plastic. Love the spacey recycled colors, or keep it plain simple. You can create little containers and pots. Make your own functional tools, or use them to create new raw material. Now you can turn plastic waste into something valuable. We love to see plastic getting recycled all over the world, so we share the blueprints of these machines online. But also step-by-step instruction videos, lessons about plastic, tips and tricks and useful templates. A complete package with everything you need to get started, ready to download. The machines are specifically designed using only basic tools and low-cost materials that are available in every corner of the world. And they are developed modular, in different parts. In this way you can always upgrade, repair and customize them, or even adapt them to your environment. Wherever you live, you should be able to build them yourself, or find a local handyman to help out. These machines allow everyone to create new things from plastic, set up a production, start a business and clean up the neighborhood. With this project we want to try and boost plastic recycling by providing people the tools to get started. So this is all the basic information people need to start their own little recycle business anywhere in the world. And they can all download it for free. But in order for this to have an impact, we need to make sure that people actually know it's now possible and that they can just download and start. But we can't do this alone, this is why we need your help. By visiting our website, you can simply spread it around. Make sure it reaches your friends, uncle, neighbor, but also that farmer living somewhere in the middle of Africa. Your share might reach the right person, and altogether we can make sure it reaches every corner of the world. Once the information is spread, the recycling begins. Visit preciousplastic.com for more information and spread the word. A while ago I received this, an award for my plastic project. The project was about, well, plastic. The material, which is everywhere around us. Turns out it's actually quite easy to recycle, but sadly this isn't really happening. Most of it still ends up in the wrong place. I figured it would be nice to have a set of machines that can recycle plastic waste, locally, so we can turn our waste into new things. I decided to make these machines and melt some plastic. The shredder chops the plastic into small pieces. The other machines heat, press, shape, mold. All you need to create new products. Oh, and the blueprints are shared open source online, for free. Which means everyone in the world can download and rebuild them to set up their own local recycle center. I made the first version of these machines, a proof of concept, not perfect yet. But to push this project forward, we need to upgrade the machines. I've got the space, tools, lunch and material to make it happen. Unfortunately, I haven't got the knowledge or time to get this done myself. So I'm donating the prize money I won to someone that can. A job offer for you machine builders out there. 10,000 euros to develop them. Between January and June in Helmond, the Netherlands. Visit preciousplastic.com for more information. And don't forget to share this video with your friends. They might be up for the job. Welcome to a new Precious Plastic video. In this video we're going to talk about plastic, what it is, that there are different types and a glimpse of what you can make with it. Okay, so I'm sure you already know about plastic. I mean, it's everywhere around us. Jerry cans, packaging, flower pots, toys, containers, cups. A lot of stuff we have is made from plastic. You can literally find this on any place in the world. Even on places where we don't want to have it. And last year we produced a lot of it. I mean, I cannot even imagine how much this is. In fact, I couldn't even pronounce it, that's why I wrote it down. And this number is still growing every year because we keep producing more new plastic. Which is kind of weird, because on the one hand it's made from oil, which is a precious fossil fuel we're running out of. And on the other hand, it ends up on places in the world where we don't want it, damaging our planet and environment. In fact, research says that less than 10% of our plastic actually gets recycled. So of all the new plastic we make, a lot of it ends up in the wrong place. Time to get recycling, right? So plastic often looks and feels the same, but it's probably not. In fact, there are thousands of different types of plastic out there, but we can narrow it down into two main categories. So, for instance, this bowling ball is a thermoset and this lunchbox is a thermoplastic. And the biggest difference is that the lunchbox, you can always remelt it. So when you're done with this, you can melt the plastic again and turn it back to another shape or its original shape. And this bowling ball is made from polyester. It's molded into this shape, and afterwards you cannot remelt it. This is basically a block of material which you cannot really do anything with. And this one you can just remelt it and reuse it again. And luckily about 80% of the plastic is made from this type, which is a good thing because this one is easy to recycle. In fact, it often has this little logo on the bottom which says that you can recycle it. And this is what the plastic looks like as a raw material. Small pellets that are used over the entire plastic industry to create new things. But even within this group of plastic there are many different types, but we can narrow them down again into 7 main groups, which basically all the plastic around you is made from. And each of them has their own difficult technical name, like polypropylene, polystyrene. I don't know why they make it so difficult, so often the shorter version is being used. It's hard to tell the difference between two types of plastic. I mean, they can have the same color, feel the same and look the same, but still being a different type. And this is actually the main problem with plastic. How to separate the different types of plastic, because they all have different properties, behaviors and melting temperatures. But there are a few tricks on how to get this done. Trick number 1, and this is by far the easiest one, is look for the logo. If it has a recycle logo, you can see which type of plastic it is. So this one is made from polypropylene. Unfortunately, not every plastic product has a logo like this. And then you need another. Trick number 2 is to remember it. And this is actually often done in recycling plants. So for instance, flower pots made from polypropylene. Lego is made from ABS. The bottle caps are made from HDPE. But as you can imagine, there's a lot of different plastic out there, a lot of things to remember. So this goes wrong and isn't 100% accurate. Another one is to look at the visual properties. For instance, polystyrene has this breakable sound, whereas polyethylene is a more flexible and tough kind of plastic. And then there's another technique, which is called the flame technique. We don't recommend this, but it's a technique, so we're going to show you. For instance, if you burn plastic, you get a little flame. So this one has a nice yellow flame. If we're gonna fire up this one. So, and this has like this dark smoke, which is polystyrene. But like I said, we don't recommend this technique. Yeah, it's not nice. The last one is the floating technique. This is quite an interesting one. So, let's say you have a lot of different types of plastic mixed. You can put them in the water and some will sink and some will float. And then we're going to add some water. So as you can see, some plastic floats, some will sink. But if we add some salt, so as you can see, the polypropylene floats and the PET sinks. And you can do this with other types of plastic as well by changing the density of the water. And all the more detailed information like the different densities or the different flame colors or the visual properties you can download in our download pack. So as we just learned, there are many different types of plastic out there. And the ones that you can recycle basically all work according to the same principle. You need some heating and some pressure to mold it into something new. And that's pretty much the basic start of the entire plastic industry. They all work according to these principles. But they have a lot of variation, so they have extrusion molding, injection molding, blow molding. And by making a different combination of this technique, they can make a whole range of different products. And our machines are based on these techniques as well, only simplified and made with local tools and materials, so you can build them yourself. So that's it for the plastic video. All the additional information you can download. If you have a question, feel free to post a topic in our forums. Next video we're gonna build the machine so we can turn plastic into new things. Hope to see you there. Welcome to a new Precious Plastic video. In the previous video we learned all about plastic, the different types, behaviors, but in order to turn plastic into something new you need machines. Machines to work with plastic already exist from the plastic industry. However, their machines are not accessible, very efficient and expensive. And for this reason, they don't like to play around or work with recycled plastic. It might slow down their production or damage their machines. It's just too much risk. Getting new plastic is easier. So we developed our own machines, and they are based on the industry ones, except these are affordable and work with recycled plastic. Before we started development, we did a big research on universal parts and resources. So the machines are made with basic tools and materials that should be available anywhere in the world, wherever you live. And we share the blueprints and the instruction videos here online, so anyone should be able to build them. Just to give you a heads up, if you want to beat the plastic industry with these machines on speed and efficiency, it's not gonna happen. We're not aiming to produce a new cheap product every 3 seconds, but we're somewhere between the big plastic industry and the completely do-it-yourself, aiming for a small-scale production. You can compare it a little bit with a woodworker, metalworker or ceramist, like a craftsman for plastic. So far we developed 4 different machines and each machine has its own function. Alright, so here we have the shredder machine, and basically this machine chops your plastic waste into small flakes. You can determine the size of these flakes by the mesh inside, so you can make them bigger or smaller. And these flakes are used in the machines to create new things. Here we have the extrusion machine. It has a very specific output, like this cable that comes out. But you can use this to create 3D printer filament or new raw material, which makes it very interesting. It's a continuous process, which means you can put the plastic in and it just keeps on going. The downside is that it's more difficult to build this machine and it takes a while before you have the right temperature settings. The upside is that once it's going, you can just leave it. And one thing which I really like, if you put a lot of mixed colors in here, it melts very well and it mixes together, so you have one new solid color coming out.
That's a smooth line of plastic.
Here we have the compression machine. Basically, it's an oven where you can apply pressure inside. It's well suited for prototyping and more solid objects. But I also like to use it for experimenting because you have an oven with accurate temperature control, so you can easily do experiments and tryouts. The technique is not as quick as the others for production. However, it is very affordable and easy to make. Here we have the injection machine. Basically, it injects plastic into a mold. The machine is relatively easy to build and it's quite quick for production. You put in some plastic, it heats up and you squeeze it in the mold. And what I really like about it is if you make a detailed mold once, you can easily replicate it and have a very detailed output. Do note that the objects you're going to make are relatively small. It depends what you want to make on which machine you need, but we suggest to focus on one technique first, fully master that. Once you have it, build another machine. And all the machines are built in a modular way, which means you can always upgrade and repair, but also customize them. For instance, you could build a wooden hopper on your extrusion machine, or have the shredder running on wind power, or maybe fully customize it to your needs. We provide the basics, but together with the community, we can make them superior. So if you want a machine, but you can't build it yourself because you're not that handy, we suggest to find a local machine builder, I'm sure he can, or post a topic in our forums where you can meet one. If you're a machine builder and you're looking for a job, go to the same topic, you might find someone. Alright, so the next step, we're gonna pick one of these machines, watch the instruction video and build it. Welcome to a new Precious Plastic instruction video. Alright, so today we're going to build a plastic shredder. And basically this machine chops your plastic waste into small plastic flakes. And these flakes will be used in the machines to create new plastic products. The size of this machine is based on a plastic bottle. So we wanted to make sure it can shred a plastic bottle, and everything smaller than a plastic bottle you can throw it in. If it's bigger, you need to pre-cut it, or you need to build a bigger shredder. In this video we will guide you step by step how to make the shredder. You can download all the technical information and the blueprints. And if you have a question or something is unclear, feel free to post the topic in our forums. Alright, let's get started. This is the machine we're going to build. And basically it consists out of 4 different parts. We have the shredding part, the power supply, the framework and the hopper. And we're going to start off making the shredders. And this is by far the most complex part of this machine. But if you follow our blueprints and this video, you should be okay. So here we have the core elements of the shredder machine, and you can download a package with all the drawings from our website, and you can just send them to a laser cutter, plasma cutter or water cutter, and they will cut out all the parts like the blades, the spacers, the side plates, and then we're gonna assemble it all together. Make sure that all the rough edges are completely smooth, because we're gonna tighten everything pretty packed together. So here we have the X for the shredder, and we're going to put on the blades. So here we have blade 1, as you can see with the markation, and we're going to add a spacer. Then we're going to add blade number 2, as you can see right here with the 2 little dots. Then we're going to add another spacer, and then comes blade 3 and blade 3. In this way we have a nice cutting flow for the shredder. But feel free to play around and use different configurations. So everything is connected, make sure everything works. And then we're gonna tighten it up and weld these metal plates together. And then it should be rock solid. Here we have the mesh that goes under the shredder. Size of this mesh determines the output you want. So if you have different mesh, you will have bigger or smaller flakes. We're gonna weld the mesh onto these 2 holders, and then we can put this one under the shredder. We painted these bars on the shredder and we tightened everything. Make sure to take your time to do this, because you want to make it go completely smooth, that you can hear this. Nothing. Exactly nothing. So we just finished the shredder part, and now we're going to focus on the power supply. And it's pretty straightforward, but there are some key things to watch out for. That should do it. Sorry. So here we have our beautiful engine. It doesn't really matter how it looks or how big it is or the size. We only need to make sure it's slow and powerful. The exact specifications you can download. And right now we need to attach the motor to the shredder so it will turn around, and maybe we'll give it a paint job. So now we're gonna wire everything up, and we found a great place to get your second-hand cables. We're currently at the junkyard, and this is a great place to find cables to connect all the electronics. And they have plenty of them. And usually we're gonna connect all the electronics in a metal box. If you wanna know how we do this, go watch our other videos. However, today we found this little guy. And inspired by the guys I met in Africa, we wanna connect all the electronics inside this one. All the electronics are inside this jerry can, and we installed a switch here so we can make the motor go both directions. Now we're going to hook it up to the framework and shred some plastic. We finished up the shredder and the power supply, and now we're going to focus on the framework. And since there's a lot of force and strength going on in here, we need to make sure the framework is rock solid. Let's build a frame. Yep. So since our motor is slightly bigger than our cutting, we had to fill this gap. So use our blueprints as a reference, since you probably have a different engine. Just make sure that it's perfectly aligned from the power to the cutting. Let me show you. We're almost ready, and we finished up the shredder, the power supply and the framework. But last but not least, we need to make the hopper. And this is where the plastic waste goes into the machine. The hopper is made from sheet metal, and there are different ways how to get sheet metal. Today we're going to use this one from an old truck. We're going to cut it out, weld it together, and then we have the hopper. And finally the hopper, and now it is ready. Next we're going to show you how this thing works. Here we have the shredder machine, and you can turn it on by using this little switch. And you can make it turn both ways, so if plastic gets stuck or something like that, you can turn it the other way around. And the plastic waste goes into the hopper, and then it will be shredded. So let's shred some plastic. the output of the shredder is still pretty big. That's why you can also add a mesh underneath. And the size of the mesh determines the output. Connect this one under here with a few screws, and then we'll show you the difference. As you can see, there's a big difference between shredded plastic without a mesh and with the mesh. Do note that the smaller you want your plastic to be, the more energy and the longer it takes. You can play around with this, like sorting out different colors or going really small or get bigger flakes. You can adapt it to whatever you need to make with it. Alright. Thank you for watching the video. I hope everything was clear. If it wasn't, feel free to post the topic in our forums. And one thing to note is that the machines are built in a modular way, which means you can always upgrade or repair them, but also customize them to your needs. So if you happen to make a hack or customization, we would absolutely love to see it, because in this way we can all work together to create better machines. In the next video we're going to make molds and show you how to create things with these machines. And for now, thanks for watching, good luck with building, and hope to see you in the next Precious Plastic video. Welcome to a new Precious Plastic instruction video. So today we're going to build the plastic extrusion machine. Basically this machine poops a line of plastic. This is a little bit like those old toys we had when we were a kid. When you had some clay and you could squeeze it into little shapes and forms. Only this time we're going to do it with plastic. And you can use this technique to make raw material like 3D printer filament or granulate. Or you can find another creative way to use it. In this video we will guide you step by step how to make the machine. You can download all the technical information and the blueprints. And if you have any questions or something is unclear, feel free to post the topic in our forums. Let's get started. Alright, so this is the machine we're going to build. It consists out of 6 different components. We have the hopper, the barrel, the nozzle, the barrel holder, the framework and the electronics. And we're going to start off making the hopper. This is where the shredded plastic goes into the machine. Let's build a hopper. We finished up the hopper and now we're going to make the barrel. This is a crucial part of the machine. This is where the plastic gets heated and compressed. The measurements of this barrel are based upon the universal plumbing system, so this should make it easy to find a tool set like this to tap the wire. Here we have the barrel, and inside this barrel there will be an extrusion screw. But before we're gonna add it, a brief lesson on extrusion screws. So here we have an industrial extrusion screw. It's a big one and it's expensive. What these things do is that they transport plastic from this side to here. However, this one is conical, which means the gaps here are bigger than here. So while it's being transported, it's also being compressed. So you can build up pressure. But like I said, these things are expensive. We found a more affordable way to do this, which still works properly, by using a wood drill. And this goes inside the barrel. Make sure the pipe you use for the barrel is completely smooth from the inside, so the screw fits in perfectly. And as you can see, when we turn the screw, it will transport the material forward. A quick tip when connecting the hopper holders. Already attach them to the hopper and then you can put this one on. So when you weld it, you're sure you have the right angle. The barrel finished and the hopper fits perfectly. We finished the hopper and the barrel, and now we're gonna make the nozzle. This is where we can control the output of the plastic. So we finished up the nozzle, and it looks pretty badass. And now we're gonna connect it to the barrel. We can just screw it on here, and make sure it's really tight. And this screw is used to adjust the flow of plastic that comes out. And this one right here determines the shape of the plastic. So for instance, for this one, we made a small little round hole, but you can also make a cross or a flat one or a lot of holes. Now we like to use this nozzle because, well, we can adjust the flow of plastic that comes out. However, since it's built upon the universal plumbing system, you can easily change this nozzle for another one. And we recommend to play around with these things because there are many options possible. Pick something that fits your needs. We finished the hopper, the barrel and the nozzle. And now we're going to build the barrel holder. It's pretty simple, but it's needed to hold the barrel together on the framework. So this thing is pretty straightforward, just some metal tubes and angles. So we're gonna weld this all together and then it should be ready. Ready for the next step. Alright, so we finished the hopper, barrel, nozzle and the barrel holder. And now we're gonna build the framework. It looks like a lot of work, but it's quite easy. Hey,
is er gewoon over een half jaar weg?
fits. The framework is finished, we painted everything and connected together. Make sure everything works, and then the last step is to connect this one to the frame. And we like to put it with the nozzle slightly out, but you can put it here or here, it doesn't really matter that much. So we're going to connect it and then we're going to wire up all the electronics. Almost done. We finished the hopper, barrel, nozzle, barrel holder and the framework. Now the last step is the electronics. We're gonna make this metal box and wire up the temperature controllers and the motor, and then it's all ready. Okay, so first thing we need is a temperature controller. And they come in different shapes and sizes. We have a big one, an old one, a crappy one, a small one. And we like to use this one. We will attach this cable, which measures the temperature, which he will understand. Then we'll connect a solid state relay to this with this heating element. So temperature is measured, controlled and then sourced to this little band heater. We're also going to connect a switch and a little light. Then we're going to wire it up with some cable, connect everything and attach it to the machine.
Levert. Eigenlijk.
This might look super complex, but it's quite doable if you follow the schematics. This looks super complex. It's quite doable if you follow the schematics.
Overgekast.
These are the heating elements for the extrusion machine, and these three are connected to this controller and this one to the top one. That's because the nozzle wants to be slightly higher temperature, and this is the thing that measures the temperature, so we're just going to connect this in the heater. Alright, so after we finished up the heating elements, we're going to look for the motor. This should do it. We found a slow, powerful engine on the scrapyard. If you need to know the specifications, it's in the blueprints. Right now we're going to connect it. Extrusion machine is ready. We did a few tests, everything works. But before we're going to show you how it works, we would like to add a small suggestion. So currently the nozzle decides the amount of plastic that comes out. However, a better way to do this is by having a controllable engine. Now there are different ways how to control the speed of an engine by different controllers or regulators. And these things tend to get complex and expensive. But if you have one lying around or you understand how it works, we highly recommend it. If not, just use a motor with a fixed speed with this nozzle and you're good to go. So here we have our extrusion machine, and before we're going to extrude some plastic we first need to heat it up. And we're just going to turn it on and we're going to set the temperature. The temperature depends on the types of plastic you're going to use, so make sure to set it properly, and then we wait about 10 minutes and we will extrude some plastic. The machine is heated up, and as you can see the nozzle is slightly higher temperature than the barrel. That's because this makes it easier for the plastic to flow out. And now we're gonna turn on the engine and put some plastic in. That's a smooth line of plastic. So it always takes a while before you have the right extrusion settings, but once it's going you get this nice line of fluent plastic to create new things. It might take you a while before you find the right settings between your temperature, your nozzle and your speed, and it also depends a little what you want to make. For instance, this lampshade required a higher temperature than this 3D printer filament to make. But to help you get started we added some reference material in the blueprints. So you should download that and tweak a little bit yourself and you should be good to go. Alright. Thank you for watching the video. I hope everything was clear. If it wasn't, feel free to post the topic in our forums. And one thing to note is that the machines are built in a modular way, which means you can always upgrade or repair them, but also customize them to your needs. So if you happen to make a hack or customization, we would absolutely love to see it, because in this way we can all work together to create better machines. In the next video we're going to make molds and show you how to create things with these machines. And for now, thanks for watching, good luck with building, and hope to see you in the next Precious Plastic video.
Estou sempre à disposição nos meus e-mails para tirar qualquer dúvida que possa ter ficado. Não se furtem de me consultar. Um abraço a todos.